Hovering over the surface of a brand new environment, the UNSC takes to the skies to get above the banished forces, striking them where they stand. From Mega Construx Halo, this is the UNSC Wasp Onslaught. Released in the second year for Halo Infinite due to the game's delay, the Wasp is certainly the spotlight vehicle, but taking everything included, it seems like a fair battle, with the UNSC uniformed with green and grays, and the Banished with crimson and a grunt that didn't get the memo. The set includes 4 gray base plates, 2 assault rifles with matching ammo counter attachments in black, 2 plasma grenades in transparent blue, and a plasma pistol in purple. There's also a bonus Banished plasma battery in crimson with blue to potentially blow up. Using mostly recognized parts, this is another Master Chief thrown into the line that couldn't stop using him. Same pattern of parts with the new articulation, a Mark 6 helmet that seems altered to give it more head motion, FJ shoulders, and a Halo War style chest design. Along with the paint on the helmet and 117 print that seems very crisp this time, this is an exclusive deco with a different tone of green and one-of-a-kind battle damage paint apps. Okay, well, exclusive doesn't really mean special anymore, does it? I think the specific markings are representing the deflected shots being taken with the digital print design, but it comes off like he got ran over by a bike. It's also really weird. Pea soup green? Not really that pleasing. There's nothing really unique about the UNSC Marine. It's the typical design theme as the others. That's not an issue, it's just repetitive. Modern articulation with the shorter legs, similar colors, FJ shoulders, and it uses the female torso and head with what I can only describe as last year's Easter chocolate hair color. The grunt conscript isn't really new. This configuration predates Infinite with the same attachable respirator from the Combat Evolved version. Pretty good articulation aside from no elbows, and the blue armor seems darker than the anniversary figure. Plus, you can remove all of it for the naked grunt. The Banished Hunter, or hunters in general, have seen a whole range of updated parts leading to this where the only thing they kept is the spines. The sculpt work is much more defined, especially with the torso armor that can open like a Spartan. The new joints provide a lot more range in most areas, but could use some tweaking. The knees have an added rotation, but the bend itself is limited. Same thing with the elbows. I also think it needed another joint in the lower neck. It's a large figure, and it's similar to the one from the Pelican Inbound, aside from using silver as the main color, which I'm not sure blends well with the gunner arm. And the crimson markings are different, showing more Banished labels. I feel they tried to limit the parts usage for the Banished Shade Turret while attempting to give it some depth. The issue is, I'm not a big fan of the choices. I'm not big on the flat base, but I think the biggest downfall is the flexible straps used for the frame. There's been reports of it snapping after taking off the clear layer, and it's just weak in general. The side view isn't pleasing. The one good thing is that it isn't much of a hassle trying to fit a figure inside. That is, if I wasn't worried that it'd be fragile. It does use adjustable handles, and the entire thing rotates on the base. The turrets used from the old Shade Turret move up and down, and the sides can also adjust using a few different joints. I think the orange energy shields definitely give it some depth as well as a nice burning glow color. The texture is good, and the set can be removed with the cover piece for the power down look. I don't recommend plugging the sides too far in. I find it tricky to remove. Wasp, another show name with flying car! The UNSC Wasp is a fairly new entry to the Mega Construx line, seen before in a singular set that also included a Silver Hunter. I will say, I'm not sure if this is a downgrade. It's not bad in itself, I think there just aren't as many different elements that made the original fascinating. It's a decent build, but the wings, other than the turbines and launcher, is just a sea of metallic green. I like the color, it just needed to be broken up. Not sure about the back boosters too, just for the exposed holes. It seems incomplete. And did the buttons have to be yellow? Just seems obnoxious. Otherwise, yeah, I could dig it. It's more of a personal single-person driven vehicle, but it's still got some power. There's a few launching missiles with 2 spares that plug directly underneath. I think the intention was another pair to be stored since there's more clips in the set. Of course, we can't miss out on the front gunners right underneath the cockpit, just in case you wanted to stare down the enemy. Wings are on hinges, even the back ones. The boosters move with 2 separate joints, and at the bottom there's even more, and that's without even mentioning the large turbines. These are sandwiched between 2 custom blocks that set it up like an oversized ball joint. This means that you can adjust them in virtually any direction. Maybe a little loose, but it's an interesting configuration. They also spin on top. There's a few printed parts, and finally they added a clear stand to a UNSC flying vehicle. It's just the slope. Why does the Banshee get rod, but these things barely get anything? The belly uses mostly silver parts, and I love the clear cockpit. It clips over with the custom bottom piece. This locks the 2-hinge canopy parts. There's adjustable handles and a console for the figure to use, either Master Chief, the Marine, or any other suitable figure. I know this isn't meant to be the same as the original, more like a different and perhaps similar build, but it's hard not to think of the comparison. There's things I don't like, but I think it rounds out fine, and the amount of stuff is pretty awesome.